Good evening. Kindiki, the Tharaka senator who lost to Rigathi Gachagua in the William Ruto's running mate nominations, has spoken and made it clear that he's going to support William Ruto, but after the August 9th general election, he's going to quit active politics. Of course, he has a formidable career in law, and also he's a university lecturer, and so he has a lot of stuff that he can do. I followed that, and today William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua held their first rally in Kajiado. And so I was so keen on that because I was having some other, I was putting a key eye on how they were going to react after Raila Odinga picked Martha Karua. And I think there is something that William Ruto team must handle. Rigathi Gachagua before he was picked, actually was picked because of being perceived as a boogeyman, someone who will run the show. But the latest front is opening between him and Martha Karua will open a front that Central Kenya will have to choose between him or Martha Karua. That is a contest that Rigathi Gachagua cannot win on whichever tenets or whichever front that is taken. So I listened to his speech, and again, secondly, I also realized that if he's a presidential running mate, he's not just a UDA running mate. He is a presidential running mate. He also needs to rise above the Kikuyu crown, because everywhere Rigathi Gachagua has put on a Kikuyu crown, and we'll just find out. Now, I want you to listen to this speech. Then after that, we are going to look at some WhatsApp chat. Then it will form the rest, this part of our analysis.
Unajua sisi sana watu hapa mlima Kenya, rais wetu ambaye tunamheshimu amejaribu kutuambia twende kwa Azimio tutoke kwa huyu. Tukakataa. Tulikataa ama tukukataa? Sasa mzee akitendawili ametafuta mama huko Kirinyaga, ati kazi yake akuja ongea na nyinyi amtoe kwa Ruto mwende kwa kitendawili. Inawezekana? Sasa huyu mama anatumwa na yeye. Akija hapa mtamwambia mlijipaka kitambo. Mtamwambia kama rais wetu ambaye ako kwa kiti alishindwa kupeleka nyinyi kwa kitendawili. Huyo mama ni anaweza? Mnaweza kubali? Mnaweza kusikiza? Anaitu. Wewe ni wangapi wanasema tu?
They took 60% of the speeches in that rally was about Martha Karua and Raila Odinga's running mate. That was expected. So I listened to it, and you hear Rigathi Gachagua was even speaking Gikuyu there. That tells you that whenever he goes, he tries to reach out to the members of Kikuyu community who stays there. When he goes to Mombasa, I think when they were in Kwale, he was even speaking Kikuyu in Kwale and Kilifi. That was in Kajiado, and even vouched for Memusi. I think the running mate to their governor candidate, Kato Lemetito, their governor candidate there, to be from Gikuyu. Now, I captured this WhatsApp chat some time back. I think that was 2 days ago. And of course, we had analyzed here that in the voting, Rigathi Gachagua lost to Kindiki. Now, this is what is captured in this WhatsApp chat. It was leaked. It's a conversation between Alice Wahome, Susan Kihika. Alice Wahome is vying for MP in Murang'a, Kandara. Kihika is a governor candidate in Nakuru. Ann Murata is the women rep candidate from Kiambu. And there is also another one called Maria that I don't know. And now he's saying, this is part of it, is saying that 126 MPs at Karen, 118 voted for Kindiki, and 8 voted for Rigathi Gachagua. Then Kihika is like, I'm sure you've seen the messages. Then it all goes down there. Then at some point, then that Maria is, I think Kihika is saying, don't mind her, but tell Watu what are the truth. As long as kina Mheshimiwa so Rigathi slap Ichungwa today, then we know what we are in for. Rigathi has done it all. So this WhatsApp conversation is alluding to a violent act by Rigathi Gachagua during the 17-hour negotiations. Part of it would be that there was a clash between Rigathi Gachagua and Kimani Ichung'wah. Now, this confirms what a gentleman was saying in Nyeri, that Kimani Ichung'wah was paid some money to bribe the members of parliament so that those members of parliament will support Kithure Kindiki. And that showed the kind of divisions that William Ruto had to deal with, if indeed that really played out. So, and again, another thing that has been confirmed is the rivalry between Kihika and Rigathi Gachagua. Now, Kihika was not in Karen, and I followed until she only congratulated Rigathi Gachagua. She was the last to congratulate Rigathi Gachagua late in the night, after everyone had made the post, all in the Facebook and Twitter. She made a post, and as I mentioned, some point, because Rigathi Gachagua was close to Bahati MP, and Bahati MP was opposing Kihika, Kihika was never in good books by Rigathi Gachagua. Secondly, Kihika was not in Karen, and this would vindicate this rumor that has ever been there, that at some point he was harassed by William Ruto's handlers. And to some extent, people said it is Farouk Kibet. Even though my personal position on that story is that it will just be mere politics. But then there is a likelihood that she was harassed at Ruto's residence. Now, what this indicates is that as much as the running mate is being announced as a formality, the dust has not settled. And of course, there is just a lot of hard work or a lot of homework that the Kenya Kwanza team needs to do. Before, it is in public domain that there were differences between Mudavadi and Rigathi. Mudavadi did not want Rigathi. Moses Kuria came out publicly to say that he was supporting Muturi, and all this really played out. William Ruto made 30 calls to different leaders, and I want to believe this will be maybe senators and governors who were not in Karen. So this was just to try to make that consultation, to have that consultation, so that he settles on the candidate. But as I have mentioned, the choice of a presidential running mate is bestowed on the candidate. That is why, even though President Uhuru Kenyatta was supporting Kalonzo Musyoka, it had to be Raila to say, I am going with Martha Karua. Even though 126 MPs were supporting Kithure Kindiki, it had to take William Ruto to say, I am going with Rigathi Gachagua. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have a raft of, in the light of this, maybe some 4 issues from some 4 aspects that Rigathi Gachagua and the team around Rigathi Gachagua must then do to make sure that he is formidable. Otherwise, in the power sharing agreements, if Ruto forms government, most probably he will even be changeable in 2027, or they will even fall out. Because again, this is a ticket of 2 people where no one will step down. I watched, I saw Miguna Mguna saying that Rigathi Gachagua is the best running mate for William Ruto, because William Ruto doesn't need someone who will play a second fiddle, as someone who will be subordinate. He can take William Ruto head on. What does he need to do in the light of all these divisions and that are coming out? Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this video and you have not yet subscribed, I want to humbly request you to subscribe and also click the notification bell so that when we publish our videos, you will be notified. To hold grip of Kenya Kwanza and have a very seamless campaign with Deputy President and even seamless government, Rigathi Gachagua will have to establish another center of power. And this establishment of another center of power is why DP Ruto was not very comfortable with him and was going for a docile, for a weak running mate in the name of Kithure Kindiki, a running mate who was not having votes, but on personality grounds, he was someone. Now, this center of power is going to help Rigathi Gachagua call the shots. He must gather a group around him. And if you followed the unveiling, you will realize that Ketu Ariguru was speaking so passionately about Rigathi Gachagua. It seems Mwangi Kiunjuri also has a very soft spot for him. Anne Waiguru is very comfortable. But then Alice Wahome and Kihika, Alice Kihika was not there, but Alice Wahome, Moses Kuria, Kabogo, they're just playing one for the optics. But deep down, they don't seem to be with Rigathi Gachagua. Now, what Rigathi must do is to assemble those who are for him and with him. Because at the end of the day, what matters are people who he can assemble. Now, but because we're in we are in election mood, and there is a likelihood that in the next government, or rather after August 9th, there are going to be new leaders. So what he has to do, because Rigathi Gachagua has the financial muscle, he has the mobilization skills, he must then groom new Mount Kenya leaders that shall come from the elections. Now what I mean is, let him work with the aspirants. I'm glad because a day before, 2 days before the running mate was announced, and this is why I think Rigathi Gachagua and Ruto had secret deal on how the running mate is going to be picked, so that they can organize, they can plan the downfall of Kindiki. Rigathi Gachagua was in Meru, Tharaka Nithi, Embu. Embu, Tharaka Nithi, and Embu. Now, this was very critical because what he was doing was very simple. He was trying to meet the aspirants, and these aspirants indirectly were endorsing him to be William Ruto's running mate. Now, if he can sponsor and support some new leaders, because the ones that are already here are already around deputy president. Now, the ones that will be elected from Mount Kenya through UDA and would get the support or will come to UDA through him, this kind of aspirants or this kind of leaders are going to be loyal to him. And with this, Rigathi Gachagua is going to have support system, because as of now, the system is not that strong. But also, there is also need for him to at least rise above the Mount Kenya mentality. He is now a running mate. And as a running mate, in the event that anything happens to the president, you become the president. So he is not only a Mount Kenya, a UDA running mate. Secondly, he's not a Mount Kenya running mate. He is a national, he must now get the national appeal. For you to get the national appeal, you must enjoy yourself to the national stage. It is not every time that when you get to a rally, you speak to Kikuyu Nation. I think even when you at some point go to Kisumu, he will try to speak to Kikuyu Nation in Kisumu. And Rigathi Gachagua is fond of doing this. I realized, yes, they're everywhere. But that should be left to other leaders, because there are many other people. You have Kimani Chungwa, you have Moses Kuria, you have Alice Wahome, and even Moses Kuria speaks to the Kikuyu Nation in almost all the rallies that he speaks to. Then that role should be left to someone so that he gets the national appeal. The truth of the matter, Rigathi Gachagua do not have the national traction. Now that's what edges him against Martha Karua. But lastly, it is time to bring William Ruto's confidence, to gel with them. I like the fact that he's very close with Bahati MP, Kimani Mujeri, but he also needs to go for Oscar Sudi. You need to go for not Kithure Kindiki, rather Kipchumba Murkomen, Chergei, and all these things. By the way, Chergei was supporting Kithure Kindiki. Chergei is the Nandi senator. You need to go for the Mandagos, so that you also have that system, and with that is going to get full support, because as things seems, there is not much of that unity as we are being treated to for the optics. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my analysis.